Yes lads, Bailey here. So today I've got a slightly different video and I haven't uploaded in a while, but I'm going to be breaking down the 4-2-2 formation and what I think works well with it and what players work well in the system and basically how to play with it. I've used it for about 100 to 200 games now and I found it actually quite effective and refreshing from the 4-2-3-1, which seems, well, which everyone uses these days. It's either that or you go narrow, but this is kind of a different formation which I wanted to try, and it proved to be quite effective, to be fair. So yeah, let's get into the video. So yeah, as you know, your defence, I'd say David De Gea is probably the best goalkeeper you can use in this game, but it's down to preference. You know, obviously him and Courtois and Neuer, obviously the best three. I wouldn't really use Peter Schmeichel or anything like that. I had him on loan, the prime, and not that good Schmeichel or anyone like that. Van der Sar is another option though, to be fair. I've seen quite a few players use him. But yeah, with the defence I'd go with tall fullbacks, especially your left back, because it seems that everyone uses either the flashback Ibra, Ronaldo, someone like that, maybe even Team the Year, Mbappe, as their right attacking mid. So having a tall fullback, I like to use this David Luiz there. Very effective, the flashback, but someone like him, I'm trying to think, like a Ramos, maybe a Varane, maybe even them at fullbacks. But your centre backs as well, I'd say you need Van Dijk as one of them, or obviously a Varane there if you're not going to use him at fullback or something like that. But I like to also use Rio alongside Van Dijk. As you can see there, I've nearly played 1,200 games with Rio. Solid centre back. But yeah, your centre backs need to be fairly tall and good in the air, obviously. That goes for every formation really. But your CDMs now, this is where I find it a bit different to the 4-2-3-1, because obviously in the 4-2-3-1 you have your cam, your central cam, who can essentially link the play, whereas in this formation you don't. So what I like to use is someone like a Kante, you know, your defensive one. Essentially he's your stopper, no one's going to get past him, but he's also going to cover the passing lanes, which because as your other CDM I like to use someone like maybe a Socrates or Socrates, however you pronounce it, or a Pogba. Just a more offensive one, but they need to be tall. Pogba's, I'd say, it's a bit more suited to this position because he's got better defensive stats than Socrates. But they're both, I'd say, just as effective because Socrates, obviously, this CDM, you essentially want to be able to have a bit more freedom to get forward and link the play, which they'll naturally do in game, regardless if you have to stay back while attacking or anything. But that's how I like it. I like to have a CDM who's a bit more offensive in this position. And then as your wide cams, see, this is where it gets down to preference, because if you're going to cross, use someone like the flashback Ibra, or maybe a Ronaldo there, or maybe a Rashford, someone with either 5-star skills or height or something like that, which all three of these have. So you know you can do the El Tornado crosses or flick ups. But my preference is someone like a Eden Hazard, maybe someone who's a bit more smaller and more sharp with the turning, a bit more, you know, agile, got the speed, dribbling, stuff like that. That's my personal preference in this, in like maybe a left attacking mid. Last weekend league I used Hazard, and who else should I use? I can't even remember. It was Hazard and Mbappe, and I found that worked quite well. You know, both small, both quick, both got good dribbling. Obviously Mbappe with the 5-star skills as well. But it's down to personal preference here. If you're going to be crossing, I'd get height and skills either side. But if not, I'd just get small, agile players who can run down the flank, but also cut in and, you know, hit the first time shots, which is still effective, believe it or not. I know it's stupid. It's what, April time now, and they're still effective. But anyway, moving on to the strikers. Again, I like, obviously everyone uses Cristiano Ronaldo. If you haven't got the coins for him, then I don't really know to compare him to, but definitely I'd say Cristiano Ronaldo up here. But then your second strike, you kind of want someone who can play a bit like a cam, but also a striker. So last weekend I used Antoine Griezmann, and he was very effective in that because he essentially, he has the high work rates, but that he like drops into like more of a cam position at times to link the play up to the strikers or the right attacking mid, left attacking mid, something like that. But yeah, I actually found it really effective. Someone like an Antoine Griezmann in that kind of role. But yeah, I'll show you the custom tactics I use this formation. Now you also a lot of drop back and long ball, because quite frankly you need to play like that on this. This is like your ultra defensive formation, I'd say. Well, obviously I have it under ultra defensive, but if you need to, you know, hold on to a lead or something, drop back, full width to keep it nice and compact, but also that allows your attacking mids to drop back into position, or not into position, into the fullback kind of position, which means your fullbacks then tuck into more as centre backs, which is why if you have a centre back at fullback, it's so effective. And then balanced, you know, good width, good players in the box, but even then you could probably put it on one or something there, and the width a lot tighter if you wanted. Corners I just still have three, because if I have someone like Virgil van Dijk, I still want them being in the box to win the headers, and then free kicks I just put on one, because no point crossing from free kicks. And for player instructions, getting behind, what's called stay forward, and then I have this one on just stay central, what's it called, stay forward mixed, because this is the player I want to be able to link the play, and not just be like the out and out attacker essentially, which Ronaldo is. And then I've come back on defense on the two wide cams. CDMs both stay back while attacking, cover centre. The full back on stay back, obviously both of them. But yeah, that's kind of the more defensive one. And then again, balance drop back 4-4. To be fair, I need to up this offensive style. But again, instructions: stay central, getting behind, stay central, stay forward, come back, and then just stay back while attacking. It's essentially the same as last time, but the tactics are a bit more higher. And then this is just, you know, a bit more of a, you know, you're down 2 goals or something, but you don't want to concede a third just yet. It's like what, 45th minute, 50th minute, but you want to put on a bit more pressure. So I just go balance, good amount of players in the box for each, and then instructions. You kind of, oh, this is a 4-2-3 one, but what I would do is I'd just have both my wide cams and stay forward. No, not stay forward, just balanced, and then both my strikers and stay forward and stuff like that. And then the DMs, cover centre, stay back, and then your ultra attacking, you just want constant pressure and stuff like that. But yeah, my sort of team right here now, well, what I used last weekend was David De Gea, Louise, Foot Birthday Van Dijk, Rio, João Cancelo, Hazard there, Kante, Pogba, what's it called here, Mbappe, Ronaldo and Griezmann. But also as well, I'd have your more attacking CDM. So say you have 2 centre backs here, I'd have your more attacking CDM here, because when I had João Cancelo here, obviously he's he's gonna be up the pitch a bit more than David Luiz. So if you have your Kante player here, or maybe, you know, the road to the final, Renato Sanchez or something, they basically can cover in if your fullback gets up a bit. But yeah, and then obviously I had Rio there, so he can cover with Kante. But yeah, your 2 centre backs, because this fullback ain't gonna push up like at all. So if you have your more attacking one there, there's still cover if they do break. But yeah, this is the 4-2-2 formation review. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I'll have another video out tomorrow analysing my Man United EPL game against Gorilla, the highlights. So yeah, and if you do want more formations like this, just or more formation reviews like this, just leave a comment on what formation. I will be doing more, most likely the 4-2-3 one will be more towards the end, but I'm just trying to experiment with new formations, because 4-2-3 one's getting boring. But yeah, until then, see ya.